right, y'all. So I'm sitting here in a little traffic. So I just was, thinking about something I've been researching. I want to share that with you guys real quick. So there's, Jesus in the Bible, Jesus talks about the rebirth, right? In New Age science, they also talk about you have to die before you die. And that's the same thing as the rebirth, right? You have to be born again. Jesus says you can't go into the kingdom of heaven unless you be born again. Now I want to explain to you what that means and how that works. How that works, the kingdom of heaven is not some place in the sky, as contrary to what a lot of people think. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It's a state of mind. The kingdom of heaven, I'm gonna say it again, the kingdom of heaven is a state. It's a certain state, a certain place. If you want to use New Age science language, the kingdom of heaven would be a frequency, right? If you want to look at it from physics, it's they would call it. If you talk to a physicist, the physicist would call it a particle, right? If you talk to physics, they would talk about they would call it the God particle, which would be like Higgs boson. Higgs boson would be considered God's particle. If you're talking to physicists, like I said, if you're talking to New Age science, they would call it a frequency. So if you're talking to a theologist, someone in the Bible, they'll call it the kingdom of heaven. But they're all saying the same thing, just using different language based off their field of expertise. So here's the thing. What's interesting though, to be born again, what Jesus talks about, to enter into the kingdom, you have to be born again. So to enter into a mind state. This is what, let me translate what Jesus was saying, and let me bring it into modern contemporary language. To go into a certain mind state, to enter into a mind state, certain state of mind, right? Which this state of mind is heaven. We call this state of mind heaven. You have to be born again. Born again in this context, what it means is you have to, as the New Age science would say, you have to die before you die. Before you can be born again, before you can have a rebirth, you have to die. Dying means you have to kill everything you believe about yourself. Let me rephrase that, what I mean by that. Every negative concept, self-concept, every limiting belief, every negative connotation, implication, association, every negative labeling, every negative characteristic, every negative habit, everything that you hold to believe about yourself, you have to annihilate it. That's what that means. You have to kill that. You have to destroy that before you can enter into a mind state of heaven. And the mind state of heaven, like I said, it's depending on who you're talking to, it's a frequency, it's a particle, right? Depending on who you're talking to, God's particle. And the only way you can go into that mind state is to free yourself from the old mind state. And the only way to free yourself from the old mind state is to do the work. There's a lot of work. It's a lot of psychological work that has to be done. A lot of meditating, right? A lot of fasting, a lot of praying, a lot of studying, a lot of research, a lot of abstaining, right? That's one of the ways to enter into this mind state. You have to abstain. So it's a lot of discipline involved. Now, a lot of people won't enter into this state of mind. That's why, again, heaven is not some place in the sky. Hell is not some place beneath the earth. Hell and heaven is both a state of mind. A person is in heaven right here on earth, can be in heaven right here on earth, and a person can be in hell right here on earth. Talk to someone who's homeless in the street with no food, no recourse, no place of shelter. Believe you me, they're in a state of hell. If you talk with them, someone who's is locked in a box in a penitentiary doing life, they're in a state of hell, right? So hell is a state of mind, right? A person who is hooked on some kind of drugs, and their life is completely upside down. They're in a state of hell, that mind state of hell. So, to enter into these mind states, to enter into heaven, the mind state, the only way you can do that is to be born again. And to be born again, using contemporary language and just everyday language that everybody can understand, Being born again means you have to restructure your entire thinking patterns. You have to restructure, and before you can restructure your thinking patterns, you have to destruct, right? Before you can construct, you have to destruct. So there has to be some destruction, right? There has to be some annihilation. You have to, some breaking up, right? Some dissolution, right? You have to break free from some people. You have to break free from some friends, some relationships, right? That's all part of the breaking down, right? Breaking it down before you can rebuild it. And that's how you enter into this new mindset. You have to break down before you can rebuild. And like I said, a lot of people are not going to do the work because it's terrifying. I'm not going to lie. It can be scary, downright terrifying. Imagine, all your life you've been walking a particular route, and now you're being told you have to completely abandon all of that. Everything you have to abandon and walk you have to go off the beaten path. What you're familiar with, what you're comfortable with. And now you have to go down a road that you have no idea what's on that road. No idea what's ahead of it. It's terrifying. It can be for most people. So that's why a lot of people tend to stay in that mindset where they're comfortable, where they're familiar. But the new version of you, the true you, your true identity, who you truly are, right? Your divine nature, your essence. Let's just say that it's buried beneath all the societal engineering and the societal thinking and construct. Beneath that lies your true self, and your true self is worth it. Your true self is worth the work. Do the work. Peace.